19 pieces of advice about starting a business. To give you a little background about this, I belong to a forum group, a forum discussion group called Quora, Quora. It's actually the most fascinating forum discussion group that I've ever participated in. And I've been a member, a community member of Quora, probably 4 or 5 weeks now. I've never really used it too much. I've read a little bit of other people's forum discussions, but something got my attention this week. Actually, it was a story, a blog, a discussion that Sheryl Sandberg started. Sheryl is the chief operating officer of Facebook, as a matter of fact, and she was hired by the Zuck. Uh, I don't remember. I think originally he paid her $26 million a year for her services. Wow. And from the moment that she signed on at Facebook, and I don't think she's been there 3 years yet. It's approaching 3 years if it's not already. She was destined to become a billionaire, and in fact, when Facebook went public, she became a billionaire, if she wasn't there already. But 19 pieces of advice, and I threw out a forum question of my own. Um, I threw out a question of my own this week, and that was, what are the three most important pieces of advice would you offer an entrepreneur wanting to start a new business? And it's amazing how many people have responded to that. And I actually said in the forum discussion that anybody that responded to me, I would share their thoughts on Facebook. On Facebook, I would share their thoughts on my YouTubes. But it just so happens whenever I do a YouTube, we have some technology that we put in place that automatically tells my Facebook followers, gives them a link to the YouTube that I've just done. Okay, Alan Porter, who's a technology advisor, and boy, at a company called Science Made Fun Franchise. He came back with these three ideas. Number one, do you have a passion for your business? That should sound familiar to you because I've said it to you many times. Number two, have you done a thorough job of background research to locate the ideal opportunity and market? That is so very important, but it's very, very important. You always, always, always have to do your homework. A lesson I learned early on in my life. Homework today means that if you are marketing something, if you're selling something, you have done your homework, you've done research to find out something about those individuals that you are targeting, and to find out if what it is that you are marketing has any value. Will somebody find value in it? So instead of necessarily researching all the most current ideas, I would say pick something that is your passion, then do the research to see what kind of things are being done today by other folks to share those ideas. So I would say take a little backward. So Alan's third thought about a third piece of advice was asking the question, do you have a clear idea of what marketing techniques you will use to promote your services or products. You've actually heard me offer up that same question many times, and that really is the foundation and the backbone of David's Barter community that I am using. I am sharing my marketing and sales experiences of the last 40 years with you, combined with today's social network technology, and making those things available to you at David's Barter Community in the form of a very optimized, very Googleized landing page. And from now until the end of the year, 80 days, as you see on the screen, there are 80 days left to play the Entrepreneur's Fun Game. The fun game is I am making available to you, to any entrepreneur that has a business idea or really wants to start a business, I am making available complimentary for the next 80 days or until the end of the year, this landing page optimized, Googleized technology. We have done the hard work of marketing. We have done the hard work of understanding social network technology, and we are making that available to you in a very efficient, very simple environment so that you can start or grow, it doesn't matter, or test, start, or grow a business idea, a product, or a service. Go to davidsbarter.com. Look for the red box on the right side of the page and register, become a member of the community, create a complimentary community marketing profile for yourself, and then go and get started with your own page. Okay, 3 more ideas came from Bob Gilbreth. Bob is the startup founder. He's a startup founder and investor. And I don't have any more information from Bob, but his 3 thoughts, his 3 ideas are: number 1, don't work on your big idea unless you have first discovered a big problem. Great point. Thanks, Bob. Number 2, focus your business on what you know. Another great piece of advice. And number 3, generate revenue from day 1. If you can do that, and you can, it can be done. If you can do it from day 1, don't look back. Just keep on going. Thanks, Bob. The next 3 are from Kainosuke Johan Mayanaga, and he is from Japan. His name is written out in Japanese here, and he's got a quick test that he offers up as advice to folks who want to start a business. Number 1, don't you have anything better to do? A fulfilling paying job? Something that makes you happier? Ask that question. It's a good question to ask. And you can have a good paying job. You can have something that makes you happy. That doesn't mean you shouldn't start a business. And I don't think Johan or Kainosuke, I don't think he wants you to ask the question. And they're good inward kinds of questions to ask. Question 2, for a moment, let's assume everything you know and believe about your business is wrong. Would you still proceed? Great question of evaluation. Assuming that you are wrong in your thoughts, would you still take it to market and start a business? And question number 3, how long can you survive on little or negative income? Great question to think about. How long can you survive without necessarily generating revenue, or generating profitable revenue, or generating high margin profitable revenue? Think about that before you start. And so let me share with you the answers to this question, because he took the time. Don't you have anything better to do? Fulfilling paying job, something that makes you happier? Answer: if you do, skip the detour. If starting your business is your second choice, you probably won't last very long, and end up doing what you'd rather be doing instead. Answer to his question. Answer number 2 to the question: for a moment, let's assume everything you know and believe about your business is wrong. Would you still proceed? His answer: if no, you would not proceed, then you probably do not have what it takes. Starting a business from scratch is all about being wrong, but having the desire to do whatever it takes. If you are counting on your calculations to be right, then you will fail. Good point. And answer number 3 to the question: how long can you survive on little or negative income? Some of us are not in a position to take risks. Every dime is better spent reinvested, and you will be in a state of having a chronic lack of resources. Be sure to have a fallback plan and a survival plan. As long as you keep going, there is still hope you will find success. Most are forced to quit, and good luck. Kanasaksuki, thank you very much for your very introspective ideas. Okay, I'm going to real quickly take the other ones without much comment. From Tushar Bhargava, an entrepreneur from India, he says, number 1, think about revenues from day 1, even before thinking about ways to spend the money. We've already heard that one. Good point. Number 2, don't waste money or fancy offices unless you are dealing face-to-face with many customers there. And number 3, cash is the king. Keep that as much as you can. Thank you, Tushar. From Jeff Duncan, I started my photography business in January of this year. So let's see what he has to offer in the way of advice. Start with why. Good point. Always ask the question why. Before you worry about what you want to do or how you want to do it, you must first understand why you do it. When you have a clear sense of why, it will influence your decision throughout your career. Number 2, focus on your strengths. You can't be all things to all people. Find a niche market. Number 3, under promise, and over deliver. Work hard to exceed the expectations of your clients and the people with whom you work. Great point. Under promise and over deliver. Okay, from Ryan Bosch. Ryan is not identified here. Advice number 1, don't quit. You need to get that snowball some momentum. You need to get that snowball some momentum, and without a doubt, you will have more obstacles and bumps in the road ahead than expected. Be prepared for the slow trudge. I like to compare it to a Rocky movie. Number 2, do you need it today? A big mistake I see all the time is companies tying up too much resources out of the gates in things they don't need. It's the little things that you do that add up. We heard that earlier in some advice: don't get fancy offices right away. Do I absolutely need this today? Ask that question before you take the valuable resources, your valuable startup resources, and spend them on something that you don't need. And number 3, set realistic goals with realistic timelines to achieve them. Be relentless in achieving those goals. Timelines, goals, objectives, accountability. Thank you, Ryan, for your advice. And those are the things that have come through so far. Thank you, all the folks at Quora. who have read my questions and continue to respond to them. Great information. And our next segment is going to do, it's a to-do list when starting your business. Some friends of mine here in Cincinnati have a CPA, a certified public accounting firm by the name of Cooney, Faulkner, and Stevens. They sent me a to-do list when starting your business. I'm going to share that with you in a moment.